Hello guys, so let's start creating our environment at Humber College Lab. So Vmware 6.5, we all decided to switch to laptops, and to do this as the vCloud was giving problems to many students and was very slow and was doing some unpredictable things. So what we need to do for this is that we need to follow a plan. So we talked about this diagram here that we're going to um, create 4 machines in the laptop, and I am thinking of the laptop being 16 GB, right? So that's going to be then what we're talking about. Just choosing the color here. Oops, what is the pen? Okay. Oh, it writes. Okay. So Control Z. Oh, it doesn't do Control Z after that. Serious? Yeah, I'm still discovering that. So what we needed to talk about was that 16 GB RAM is there, first thing, and wow, Control Z doesn't work. Anyway, so and that's a total 16 GB RAM. So according to that, we need to divide the RAM. First, I'm gonna create a server 1 here, and that server 1. So yeah, it is. I need a small, or okay, so that's going to be server 1 here, and then server 1, and then second thing is I'm going to give it full 12 GB RAM, so I could install Active Directory, DNS, Dhcp, configure all the steps there, right? So that's going to be very, very, very critical that you should follow every step and do not miss any step, right? So for that, I'm just gonna go ahead and start creating or configuring the first server. If the installation is going on, well, I'm gonna give full RAM there for the first server so it could install fast. Then we're gonna go for second server here in the virtual environment, and then there's that E6i1 and E6i2 in the laptop. So I hope you have downloaded all the software there. If not, then let me know. And it's also on the WhatsApp. Everyone's there to help each other. So just ask and they will give you the link as well. So the software is shared by everyone. Now what we need to do is start installation, right? So I'm just going to go for the first machine now here, and I'll just start now. So I'm just removing this. Oh, seriously, it's removing everything else as well, and it doesn't do Control Z. So this is not an ideal drawing application. I just discovered it now. Okay, so here the first thing is server 1, and I will not save this. You will lose recent changes. Okay. So okay, there's another one. Now I'll just copy it here in my WhatsApp so I could make more changes and keep on adding. It has more functionalities. Okay, so that's the first thing. We're going for server 1, right? So how do we do that? I'm just gonna go to my VMware workstation. I'll close and clear up this whole set of machines for other courses that I've started, and okay, so this whole screen is clear first. Then I'm going to the left side, NetPlus, seriously, NetPlus, no, Humber. So I'm just going to go to home button here and click that create a new virtual machine. So that's, I'm working on server 1 now, right? So create a new virtual machine and go for typical. This is okay. And then I'm going to click browse and go for my server 2012 software. So, and I'm going to install the server 2012. You have server 2012, so you can just go for that. So it's Windows Server 2012 written here. Let's click next. So we don't need to give any key here, and the name written is okay. Next. It says, are you sure you want to not put the key? I'm saying yes. So then we can just give it a proper name here. So this is Windows Server 2012 dash your first name dash VCP 6.5 dash Humber. I'm just writing Humber. You don't have to write that because there's a 6.5 going on in some other college as well. So today's date is 16 March 2020, or just 20 is okay. And also, I tend to put a lot of information there, which sometimes is frustrating as well for some. So that's 20, and then it is a template. Yeah, well, we can create a template machine, because later we can create clones out of that, right? So this is a template machine, right? So what I'm gonna do is also I'm gonna go for just this machine, and instead of putting Windows 2012 here, I'll just put Win 2012. That's it, right? R2. So Win 2012 R2 dash your first name VCP 6.5 Humber 16 March 20 template, and the city is Toronto, and the province is Ontario, and the country is Canada, and the continent is North America, and the planet is Earth. Okay, we don't have to write that, but if you want, go ahead. So, and in my case, I have a lot of space in my D drive in my laptop. I have two drives here, but I'm just putting it in my D drive. In your case, you can just keep it in C drive, and make sure that you have free space of free space of what? Free space. At least you should have 250 GB of free space available, or 200 GB, or 150 GB. 150 GB is also okay. Let's click next, but strictly follow what I'm doing, right? And then give it 200 GB. This is thin provisioning, so it's not going to take all the space here. It's going to take only what's in the software. What's the software you install, it will only take that much space. Single file I'm selecting there. Next. And then I'm going to customize hardware here, and then I'm just giving it since you have 16 GB RAM, right? So I'm going to give it 12416. You can just put 12416 or 12 GB RAM here, and two processors I'm going to give here. Hopefully you have i5 or i7. So two processors here is good, and NAT. If you want to activate your Windows 2012, then you need to keep it on NAT. Otherwise, let's keep it on NAT, right? So that's it. 12 GB RAM, two processors, NAT. That's it. Let's click close and click finish. So now the machine will start, and it will start the installation. Resuming, and it's going on, but if it asked oh man, there's so if it asks guys about so guys, if it is asked that which version of operating system you need to install, so it would be I'll just quickly put it here. It would be data center. So data center GUI, if it asks for that. So data center and GUI, graphical user interface, right? And and the rest is just next. If it asks for that upgrade or custom, so go for custom. If you are asked these questions, custom, go for custom, not go for upgrade. So other than that, next, finish, right? Accept the license agreement, next, finish. So data center, GUI, and custom. If you are asked these questions, I was not asked these questions, that's why it just kept on going, right? So waiting for the instruction to finish. Pause. resuming, and so it's just doing a final restart. After that, it's loading up. I guess in my installation, maybe it will install the VMware tools as well, but you should install the VMware tools. That is very important. So it's loading, but install tools, log into the guest room. Okay, so it's saying that click install for VMware tools. So what we're going to do is we're going to okay, I'll just fill it up. So that's that. Maybe we have done that on day one. Oh, all the steps are there. Okay, so let's create our lab, and we have blah blah blah. Let's put static IP. Okay, so we did not do the 7 changes here. Okay, so video on how to install VMs in your laptop. So you know, guys, first VM is a template VM. It is used for creating clones. It is used to creating clones. So once your Windows 2012 is R2 is installed, then we need to configure 6 changes in it, and then install, then run sysprep on it to permanently shut it down, so we could create clones on it, right? So that's what we need to do. Once your Windows 2012 R2 is installed, then we need to configure 6 changes in it and then run sysprep on it to permanently shut it down, so we could create clones on it. So if I go back here to my operating system, now if you are having any problems, you can just contact me and ask me, okay, I'm seeing this Windows screen. Just take a picture of that, put it on WhatsApp or email me. Better put it on WhatsApp so everyone can help. But do your effort as well and try to really work hard on it. And okay, so it is installed. I'm just gonna go for the first thing here, and that is, so what are the 6 changes that we need to do? So what are the 6 changes we need to do? So those are install VMware tools, double check time zone, double check time zone, and then turn off all firewalls. Also turn off IE enhanced security Internet Explorer, and power options to change screen. So user account lockout settings, to change user account lockout settings, shared folder, and well, that's it. So and then we can Now we can run sysprep and shut it down forever. Sysprep and shut it down forever. Okay, and after that we will create two Windows clones. We will create two Windows clones and configure them with IP name, take snapshot of it, right? And install AD DNS Dhcp, right? So, and copy of domain administrator, right? So we're going to do a lot of things here. Then join second VM to domain. Okay, so we're going to do all these things. Let's start doing that. So I'm on still VM01, and in fact I'm on template machine now, right? So this is a template machine. This is going to stay shut down forever. After that we're going to create the two clones for Windows, and we're going to separately install. Okay, so I'm just going to go to right click and install VMware tools. That's the first thing. So if I go there and click that, so maybe in your case if it is clickable, it is okay. If, for me it is not clickable, which is not good. So I'm just gonna restart here my machine. But if you can click it, go ahead and click it, install VMware tools, and then it will pop up, then next, then select typical, then next, and then select install. Once it is installed, then just go ahead and restart, right? So for me the Windows just restarted, and I'm going to check that if install VMware tools is there or not. Wow, amazing. This normally never happens. Log into the operating system. Log into the operating system and click install VMware tools from VM menu. Seriously? Okay, I'll pause it. Why my install VMware tools is not coming? If it is coming for you, just go ahead and click it. Resuming now, and okay, so yeah, I had to I right click it, then this install VMware tools is here. I had to just go there and shut down on my VMware workstation, and I had right click here and I had to run as administrator. I didn't have to do that before ever, so you don't have to do that if your VMware tools is showing. It was not showing for me, so I had to do this, run as administrator, and then start again the machine. And yeah, it seems like it's working. So right click, I'm just gonna click install VMware tools. It pops up here, but I'm going to deliberately miss it, because if some of you miss it, so where else you can go to check it out. So we're going to go for this folder here. I'm going to double click the VMware tools inside under this PC beside the C drive. It's the VMware tools. Double click that. Yes. Again, if you have any issues, you can just put it on that WhatsApp. Okay guys, so I got another ISO that resolved it, and it's just I got the latest ISO from so this is the link for that latest ISO. I'm putting it on this one on WhatsApp as well, and this Windows Server 2012 R2 works and does not give error for VMware tools. Please use this for VMware 15.5. Okay guys, so what we are trying to check here is resuming. So what I was saying was that this is working fine, and I'll put it on the Blackboard as well to download this operating system, this version. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and click next for the Vmware tools. Typical is okay, and then next, install. That's it, and then restart. So we're gonna still now try to follow up with what we were doing. So install Vmware tools. That's the first thing. So we're doing that, and after that, we're gonna go for double check time zone. Well, I'm just waiting for it to install and then restart. Click finish, and yes. So it is starting. And putting the class password, logging in. So that's the first thing. And this is still the template machine. Installing. The last one was the one I'm deleting, is the one that did not work and gave the error. So that's the other operating system that I downloaded directly from Windows Microsoft website. And once Vmware tools is installed, so we go for the next one, double check time zone. So I'm gonna double check time zone, go to local server here, and once it is loaded, so I'm gonna go and check the Eastern time. US and Canada is okay, and it's 2:10. Yes, it is 2:10 in my laptop. It is 2:10 here as well, so time is okay. So I'll just go for double check time zone is okay. Then I'm going to go for turn off firewalls, and that is all firewall profiles. So profuse is firewall profiles. So pausing now. Okay. Okay, resuming now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and check what else need to be done. So time zone is okay, and then turn off all firewall profiles. So I'm just gonna do that and go to private, and then pausing, resuming. So I'll turn off the firewall the home destructions, not disruption that I can have right now. One kid comes, and the second kid comes, and third kid comes. So anyway, I have just turned off the firewall. Seriously, I should go fast because this is just kid stuff. So firewalls turn off, and then we go for turn off enhanced security. So we're gonna go to local server again, template machine, local server, and then we go to Windows firewall, and seriously, okay. Then we go to this Eastern time US Canada. So firewall was here, right? So then go to Eastern time US and Canada here. Click that. Seriously, what is wrong with me again? So it's above that. So there was Eastern time US Canada. So above that is on. On is for what? Enhance security configuration. And let's click the on button here, and then off, and press OK. So I'll just put that as turn off enhance security. Power options to change user account lockout settings. If power options to change user account lockout settings, we need to change that too. So I'm just gonna go ahead. So this is like normally our machines lockout for Suppose you don't use this machine for 15 minutes, so it's going to lock out. So you have to put a password again if you want to come back and use the same password. So we don't want to put that here. So we're going to change the user, power options and user account lockout settings. So if I right click here, this one, and then go to power options here, and then we go to high performance. Think out of the box. Suppose the option is a bit above or a bit on the right side. So just don't take every setting literally, and then go ahead and just check it out that, oh, must have meant that. So high performance here, maybe it is suppose grayed out for you. So there's a change plan settings here, or there would be another setting here that is administrator. Click the administrator and then it will be available. So for me it is available, and change plan settings, and then it's 15 minutes, so I'm going to change it to never. And click save changes and close it, right? So if I go for that, it is done as well. Then comes a shared folder setting. So shared folder setting is that it helps us copy any software from within the virtual machine to the physical desktop or laptop, and from within the physical desktop or laptop to the virtual machine. So this just is kind of a window between virtual machine and physical machine. So let's configure that. So right click here and on the machine here, template machine, and go to settings here, and once the settings open, then you go to options here, then you go to shared folders here, and then you click always enabled, then you click map as a network drive, then you click add button here, and then click next. So then go to browse. So this is the folder structure of your laptop or desktop. This is not your inside virtual machine folder structure, it's outside here. So you just need to connect it to your whichever folder has the software. In my case I have all my ISOs and software inside my central soft. So this is a folder where I just copy all the soft. So I'm just gonna press OK here. It looks like this. So you can just map it to downloads folder as well. You can map it to any C:\downloads folder there. Anyway, so I'm just gonna click next, and I'm gonna click finish. Nothing to change here. And make sure that your setting is always enabled here. Map as a network drive here, and this is added here, and press OK. So let's go ahead and try to go for the rest of the list here. So shared folder is done. Well, it is done. So I'm just going to check that too. Is it done or not? So I'm going to go to the file explorer or the yellow folder, this one, within the virtual machine, not outside this one, not this one, the inside virtual machine, this one. Click that, and if you open that, so you can see that there's a Z drive now which appears as a result of shared folder settings. Double click that, and this is the central soft folder that I shared, or whatever folder you shared, you will see that. So let's click close here, and now go to the list here. Shared folder is done. Now we run sysprep. So sysprep makes sure that your machine your virtual machine is shut down first of all, and then it helps us create clones. So we're going to create 2 clones. Now those clones should have unique SID, right? So it helps give clones unique, which also means different SID. What is SID? Security identifier. Security identifier, right? So and security identifier looks like this, alphanumeric characters, right? So every clone that gets created of this machine, if sysprep is run and the machine is shut down with the help of sysprep, then every clone that you create from the virtual machine, template virtual machine, will be actually going to be having a unique or different SID. If the SIDs are similar, then these machines cannot join the domain, Microsoft domain, right? They have to be different or unique. So unique / different SID. So unique / different SID So let's run sysprep. Now you have to be very careful here. You cannot run it on top of your laptop by mistake. Otherwise you will learn the hard way that your laptop will be shattered, your software will not work, your operating system will not work. You have to format the whole laptop if you run it on your laptop. So be very careful. And then I'm just gonna go inside, and here's the server manager, and I'm gonna go down to this Windows icon, and I'm going to right click here and go to run. So make sure it is not this Windows icon. It is not this. It is inside the virtual machine Windows icon where you're going to run. Enter and type at sysprep. Be smart, be careful, right? So sysprep here and press OK. Generalize, shutdown. Generalize, shutdown. So I'm just going to do generalize shutdown here and press OK. So that's it. So once it shuts down, once it shuts down permanently, so if we go to the machine, so we have created a template machine, and that template machine here, so now we're going to create clones out of that. So first clone will be server 1, the other clone will be server 2, right? So the clones can only be created when the machine is shut down, right? Template machine is shut down, and we're gonna make sure that it is shut down forever. This machine is shut down forever. So make sure that you change its RAM to 4 MB. 4 MB RAM is not enough to start a virtual machine, right? So we're gonna change this RAM to 4 MB. When we create clones, so all clones will have 4 MB RAM. You have to change that RAM to whatever RAM the machine is supposed to have. This machine, temporarily we're going to have this RAM of 16 GB for this machine. We're going to change it to that, or 12 GB RAM, we're going to change it to that. But once we are done with all the settings here, AD, DNS, Dhcp, everything is done, then we're going to go for we're going to change it to 2 GB RAM later. When it is all installed, then we're going to change it to 2 GB RAM. Right now, temporarily, we're going to give it 12 GB so we can do it fast here. Okay, so it is shut down. Template machine is shut down for me. So you can see on the left side here, there's a template machine, and it is showing everything here. So try to think out of the box and try to troubleshoot yourself as well if it's not happening the way I'm doing it. And then of this template machine, and click that, and then change its RAM from 12 GB down to 4 MB, right? 12 GB down to 4 MB, and press OK. So it's 4 MB here, and OK. 4 MB. Okay, so right click here and then go to manage and clone. Next, the current state in the virtual machine. Next, link clone and full clone. What's the difference between the link clone and full clone? Link clone is that it will depend on, for its working on the template machine, and if you copy the link clones and the to any other machine, so you have to take the template machine with it. Link clone uses the CPU, RAM, and virtual disk and networking of the template machine. Link clone takes less space, full clone takes more space, and it is an independent clone. It does not depend on template machine for its working. So because our laptops have limited hardware configuration, so go for only link clone, strictly follow with link clone settings. So I'm gonna stick to link clone and click next. And then this is not a template machine, so I'm just going to remove this word template, and also that it is server 01. And in my case, I have 2 drives in my laptop, so I'm gonna put it to D drive. You can just keep it to C drive, and this is the naming. If you've done all that, click finish. Right click to template machine and click manage, and click clone again to create the second clone. Next. So the current state in virtual machine. Next. Link clone is there, right? Next. And then we go for template. And then we type the name server02. And in my case only, I'm just changing it to D drive. You can keep it to C drive. So server 2, and hopefully you've exactly followed this. Do not click this browse button. Maybe it's too late now, but do not click this browse button. So finish, clone, close, close. Okay, then I'm just gonna drag it to the folder here. Now remember that the 2 clones have also 4 MB, so I'm gonna go to server 1 here, and it's 4 MB, right? So total 16 GB we have. So we need to actually configure the first server. So let's concentrate only on configuring the first server, then we're going to start the second server. So let's just change the RAM of the first server. Server 1, if you have selected, go ahead and select that. Go to the memory and change only the memory of server 1. And then since we have 16 GB RAM, right? So I'm going to drag it to 12 GB here. 12416 you can type directly here as well, and click anywhere else. It will show you 12 GB. 2 processors are already there because it was in the template machine. 200 GB hard disk already there, which is okay. So that's all, and we'll keep it NAT for now. Later we're going to change it to VMware 15. So 12 GB and press OK. Now it is 12 GB RAM only for server 1. So we're just considering server 1 because we need to install a lot of stuff here. So let's power on this machine. So the first machine has started with 12 GB RAM and everything else is okay. I'm going to click next, and I will accept the license agreement. And the class password is small abc, capital ABC, keep pressing shift 1 2 3. Again, small abc, capital ABC, keep pressing shift 1 2 3. And this is the password here. This is the password here. For the local machines, this is the password. Finish. And then click the Control-Alt-Delete here to go inside the machine. Small abc, capital ABC, shift 1 2 3 is the password, which is exclamation, @ and £sign. Once you're inside, then press yes simply. So it says that if this message comes, just press OK. It is just going to make your screen user friendly. So it will kick you out. Just kick yourself back in. Ha ha ha. So just go for Control or Delete again here, and just small libc 2.23. I'm gonna make the screen bigger. Okay, so now if we go back here, so we have done sysprep, and be very careful with it again. So we will create 2 Windows clones and configure them with IP name. So this is the thing that we need to do now. So the steps here would be that on server 01 do the following. And what is the following? First make sure that if it is the trial version of your OS, then keep it connected to NAT, so you could get internet connection. So it will automatically get activated for 180 days. So my machine is already on NAT. I never changed it to any other networking, so it's for 180 days, and I'm going to show you now that how does it look like. So if it is a trial version and it detects internet connection just like my machine right now, then it will automatically install some files in the background which will activate it for 180 days. So we need to do that. I mean, the version I have, it needs to be done this way, because I have a trial version that I downloaded from the site here. In fact, that's the site here. So I'm gonna put that here. In fact, on the top, download this version of Windows Server 2012 R2 from Windows website. So I'm just going to go inside and I'm going to check that if it is updated to. So first of all, I have internet connection, because if I right click here and go to settings, then I am connected to NAT. So network adapter is connected to NAT, which is okay. Don't make any change here. It is okay. I'm going to cancel out from here. And second thing is, am I connected to internet? So I'm just going to click here and go to IE. And yes, the news is coming here, so this means that I'm connected to internet. I'm going to close that and close this. So then I just need to make sure that I'm on the desktop. So beside the clock up there, right above the clock here, you should see 180 days activated for 180 days. So I'm just gonna minimize this here. The server manager needs to be minimized here. So I'm just going to minimize this, and yes, I do see that it is activated for 180 days, right? So if you don't see that and you have internet connection and it is a trial version and you don't see that, so right click here and refresh, right click refresh, right click refresh until it comes. If it still doesn't come, then restart the machine and then check it will come. If it still doesn't come, then make sure that you do have internet connection or not, right? And is it a trial version or not? Okay, so so I'm just going to put this server manager back. So that's the first thing. And second thing is that if it is activated for 180 days, then do what? Then we no longer need internet connection. So we will simply change our nick from NAT to custom and then VMnet 15, right? So all our machines should be on VMnet 15. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go right click here on server 1. I'll go to settings here and then network adapter is NAT, right? So bridge, NAT, custom, host only and custom, right? Bridge means that this virtual machine will be exposed to your physical network. Anyone in another room can actually access your machine if he or she knows your username, pass or IP address or name of the machine. So it's not recommended to bridge this machine. A NAT gives you internet connection. We got that and we activated our machine if it is a trial version. And host only, this virtual machine will talk to the host. This is the host here. The Windows 10 and the laptop is a host, so it this is also okay, but we're gonna go to custom. Custom is like VMnet. It's like VLAN, so virtual LAN, right? So VLAN just means that I'm supposed to see here 19 of the VMnet settings, but I'm seeing VMnet 0, VMnet 1, VMnet 8. So for some students it does appear, and it never appeared to me before, but this is the first time it is appearing to me. But if you do see 19 there, you can still go to host only here, because we need to keep our configurations consistent, right? So host only will mean that we will not have internet connection, first of all, and second thing is all 4 machines should be on host only then, right? If you put it on VMnet 15, suppose you have 19 VMnets there, you're seeing there 19 VMnets. So go for any one VMnet like VMnet 15 or VMnet 14 or VMnet 19, whichever. But make sure that all 4 machines are on the same VMnet. If I just choose this host only, I will make sure that other 3 machines will also be on host only. Otherwise, if it is not on host only, other machines, they will not be able to communicate with my machine. So I will make sure that all machines are on host only. Okay. And or you can just select that, it's the same thing, right? So I'm changing it to host only. I'll click somewhere else here and then I'll check that it is on VMnet 1 or host only, or you can just select this one, which is also okay. If you want to select the VMnet 15, 18, 19, if you see those, you can select any one of those. Make sure whichever you select should be the same for all 4 machines, right? Okay, so I'm just going to press OK. I don't need internet connection, that's why I did that. So I'm going to go back here, and so 180 days is done, and so it's VMnet 15. We have changed it. So now let's put static IP. Hello. Hello. Yes. Oh, okay. Please hold on.
It's done. Yeah. 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 Okay. 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 Thank
you. Okay guys, so let's put static IP here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put static IP. Then let's rename this VM and restart. Then let's take a snapshot of this VM, and then let's log in and install Active Directory. Let's name the domain as your first name domain dot local, and then after installing and restarting Active Directory, then log in again and copy and copy domain admin account to your first name admin, or just we can say humbadmin, right? This is a user account. Domain copy domain administrator, copy domain administrator user account to humbadmin user account. So it will have all the privileges of the domain administrator, which is the top account, right? And then let's install Dhcp and make a scope IP range of 192.168.200.50 up to 192.168.200.100. We will not have those many machines, but we're going to still configure that. When we have installed Active Directory, yeah, we're going to also create that account. So we will only use this humbadmin user account from now on throughout the course, and use this humbadmin user account from now on throughout the course. And then let's check our DNS server and create a reverse lookup zone as well. Okay, so and then Dhcp, and pretty much all these steps once done. So also SAN config. So we're gonna config SAN on this machine as well, right? So let's install 3 disks with 200 GB each. Obviously they are all thin provisioned. Let's install 3 disks with 200 GB each, thin provisioned. Let's install 3 disks with 200 GB each, thin provisioned, and then format them one by one and name each as LAN01, LAN02, and LAN03. Now then install Scuzzy feature, and then convert each disk to Scuzzy disk while keeping the same naming convention. So once that is done carefully, then we're done with the server 1, and we can continue with then other servers there. So this is all the server 1 configuration, right? So now we're going to go ahead. So we will create 2 clones. We have that's where we are now. So on server 1, do the following. So make sure trial version is done. So we have done that, and it is showing me 180 days. So then we have done this one as well, that we have changed the network card to Vmnet 15. And now we're on this stage. Let's put static IP. Now, okay. So I'm just gonna go back here, and I'll be putting the static IP here. So let's go to local server here, and then go to Ethernet 0 here, and then Ethernet 0 again, double click, go to properties, and then uncheck V6, double click V4. If you keep it checked V6, it's still okay, it's gonna work. So double click V4, and the first IP is 192.168.200.1. So press tab and it will get 255.255.250. Press tab again, 192.168.200.1. This is our gateway. This is a fake gateway, and this is for just one lab, which is VMware HA or High Availability Lab. So tab again, 192.168.200.1. So we will install DNS server. So that's why preferred DNS server is the same IP, because in this machine we're going to install DNS server, right? So make sure your IPs are okay, and press OK. And press OK, and close, and close. So your IP should be good. Just refresh here. Now if we go to the steps here, then IP has been put in, and then we go for rename and restart this machine. So let's do that. And I'm just going to go to computer name here, click that, and once you click that, and then click the change button here, this one, and then go for server 01, and that's it, that's the name. Go for press OK, and just press OK here as well, and then click close here and restart now. So guys, after restart, make sure that you take snapshot, right? So we still need to take snapshot here. So here you need to take a snapshot. This is the next step. So if rename and restart is done, so then go for take snapshot. This is very important, guys. So I'm just going to go back here, and then I'm going to right click here on top, and then I'm going to go to this take snapshot. So click the take snapshot. So what we have done, you have to put those in details. Snapshot, keep it with snapshot 1 here. And then it is activated. In my case, if you didn't have to activate, maybe you had a key there or something, so you don't have to write that. But if you have activated just like me, if it's as a trial version and you activate it, so write it. And then static IP given, and then renamed, and VMnet, in my case it was 1, or host only I selected. If you selected Vmnet 15, Vmnet 13, Vmnet 18, then it is going to be that. But if you followed exactly, and I would recommend that follow exactly as I've done, then it should be this. So let's click the take snapshot here. This is snapshot 1 of server 1. Then we're going to take a snapshot 1 of server 2 as well. So let's click snapshot, take snapshot. Now this snapshot is going to keep saving for a long time. We don't need to wait for that. We can still work, and it's gonna in the background take snapshot. So keep taking this snapshot, which is okay. So let's log into this machine. Let's click this Control Alt Delete 3 buttons here, and then go for small VC, capital VC, shift 1 2 3. So once you're logged in here, so let's install Active Directory. So if we go for our steps here, so snapshot have been taken here. So then let's go install Active Directory and name this domain as your first name domain.local. So in my instead of my name, you're gonna put your name there, right? And we're gonna then install with the usual options. So let's do that. So here we have I'm just going to click on dashboard, which is already clicked, and click on add rows and features. Let's click that, and next, next, next. So there's a roles page. Make sure you're on the server roles or roles page here, and you select the second one, which is Active Directory Domain Services. Select that and click add features here, and click next, and click next, and click next. So click restart. It is good to do that. Otherwise, I'm sure actually at this particular stage it's not going to restart. So press yes and click install. So you're installing the roles. So once this is done, you can see this. Promote this server to a domain controller. So if you have clicked close, which many of us are tempted to do that. So if you click close, you can go to this yellow triangle here, and this is the same thing here. Promote this server to a domain controller, or this one, promote this server to a domain controller. So I'm just going to click that. So we're creating a new forest, which is like Microsoft New Network. So we're going to give a domain name, your first name, domain.local, and click next. Okay, so DNS is selected here, which is okay. So just give a password, small ABC, capital ABC, shape 123 here as well. Wherever it asks for a password, just give class password. Click next, and then click next again. Nothing here. That warning, ignore that. It's just it was just saying in the previous screen that hey, I could not find a DNS. We're in the process of installing DNS, so that's why we could not find it. And this is a single name access to Active Directory. Click next. So yes, the usual path here, next, and the summary, and next. So it will check the prerequisites there, and then we're going to install. It's going to automatically restart after that. Okay, let's click install. So ignore these warnings here. One is saying that if you have a very old Windows NT 4, it's gonna not communicate with this domain controller. We don't have that. And second is saying that, hey, where's your DNS server? So we're in the process of installing that. That's why we cannot find it. So ignore that one as well. If you go further down, all other prerequisites are okay. So we're okay. Click install. It's gonna restart now. So we're gonna log into Active Directory and let's log into VM01 and reinstall Active Directory. It is getting installed now. Pretty much we're there. Then we gave the name during the installation here. That is done. After installing and restarting, then log in again. We're gonna do that now. Okay, we're doing that now. So let's just log into the Active Directory. 3 buttons here, and with a local domain administrator account and small abc capital shape 123 the password. Make sure it is 180 days here showing, and so we're logged in. And one more thing that we're going to do is that we're going to not use the domain administrator account, because the server 2 machine is going to be a member server. It has a local account which is also called administrator, and we're going to have domain administrator account as administrator. So sometimes students confusingly log in from local administrator account instead of domain administrator. So we're going to change it to HumAdmin user account here. We're going to copy a HumAdmin account. We're going to always use this account from now on, right? So resuming, and now I'm going to do this task here. So I'm just going to go back to since we're logged in from server 1, it's our domain controller now. So go to tools here and go to Active Directory users and computers here, and then go to users, and then administrator here. So again, domain, your first name domain, then users, and then administrator. Right click here and copy, right? So it will be HumAdmin, Control A, Control C, tab, tab, tab. So keep it like that and click here and Control V here as well. User logon name, next. And it's going to be small abc capital shift 123 and small abc capital shift 123. That's the same password that we kept on giving everywhere, the class password. And we're going to keep it to password never expires, but do not click any one of the other options there, just the password never expires. Let's click next and finish. And once you make any change in the Active Directory, go to domain and just click just a few million times. Okay, done. And I'm going to close that. So this is done as well. And let's go ahead. And so I'm going to go for, let's check our DNS server and create reverse lookup zone as well. So let's go to, within our domain controller, we're going to go to tools, and then we're going to go to the DNS server here, and then it is server 01. So I'm just going to go for forward lookup zone here, forward lookup zone, and then go to your first name domain dot local zone. Double click that, and you see that a record of your server 1 is there. A record is just a name and IP of a machine. So we need the same thing. So I'm just going to expand that first, the DNS, and expand this one as well so we can clearly see everything. And then we're going to go down to reverse lookup zone here, this reverse lookup zone. So it is not configured. So forward lookup zone, which resolves computer names to IP addresses, is configured. Reverse lookup zone, which resolves IP addresses to computer names, is not configured. So let's configure that as well. Just remember one thing, that forward lookup zone is already, this means that name resolution is working if forward lookup zone is configured only. So the name resolution is already working within your Windows and VMware environment, but it's for best practice that we go for reverse lookup zone as well. So let's right click here and go to new zone and click next. So it's the primary zone, which is the read and write copy. Secondary zone is read only copy. Stub zone is just for small branches. Active Directory integrated zone is just for the Active Directory or domain controller will provide encryption protection to DNS replication as well. Click next. And yes, this will be default setting, next. And IPv4 reverse lookup zone, next. It is just interested in knowing 192.168.200 dot. So it's not interested in knowing the client IP, but it needs to know the network IP range. So we're going to put that and click next. And then allow only secure dynamic updates. This is okay. Next and finish. So now forward lookup zone is configured. So if we double click and go to the forward lookup zone here, so I don't see a machine information about server 1 and its IP. So the record here is called pointer record or PTR record within reverse lookup zone, and if it is created in forward lookup zone inside the domain zone here, so it is called A record here, host A. Here it is called pointer, but it is not there. So let's put it there as well for server 01. So let's go back to domain here, domain zone in forward lookup zone, and then go to server 1 here, double click that server 1, and you see this option, right? It is not checked. Update associated pointer record or PTR record. So click that. So it's going to create a pointer record in the reverse lookup zone as well if we do this. So click apply after selecting this. Okay, and then go to domain again or server 1 here and refresh. And then come back to reverse lookup zone, expand that and put this here, and you will see that now it is there now, right? Which is good. If it's not there, this means that make sure that your IP is wrong here. I hope it's not wrong. So one more thing here for DNS, we need to check the Fqdn or fully qualified domain name as well. So I'm just going to go down here to right click and then go for command prompt admin, and then we go for IP first we are going to go for ns lookup, NSLOOKUP, enter. So it shows the wrong IP here, 127.0.0.1, and localhost is not a Fqdn. Fqdn is supposed to be server01 dot your first name domain dot local, right? But it's not showing that. So let's make it show that. So let's control C or control Z out of that. I'm just going to press control key and the C, and I'm out of this. But do not close this, just minimize it. And then we need to go to server manager here. We need to go to the static IP, right? Wherever you give the static IP in the network card. So we need to go to there. So I'm going to go to server manager, local server here, and then I'm going to go for Ethernet 0 again, and properties, and then go to double click v4. So here it is changed to 127. It was 192.168.1.1. So it changed because when it was installing, we were installing Active Directory and DNS. So it discovered itself as a DNS. Oh, I'm the DNS. So it actually put the loopback address here pointing to itself. So we're going to change it back to 192.168.200.1 and press OK. And press OK. And close and close. So now if you go back to command prompt here and up arrow or type back NANS lookup, or on the keyboard just go for up arrow and press enter. Now it gives you correct IP and the fully qualified domain name as well. If you see that, you're good. So now we no longer need this, so I'm just going to close this. And if we go back here, so there's that. Let's check our DNS, right? So we've done that. So let's install Dhcp and give this scope. Let's do that now. So I'm going to go to server 1 and I'm going to go to dashboard here, and I'm going to click add roles and features here again, and we're going to click in next, click next, click next. So we need to just click Dhcp here. It pops up, click add features, click next, nothing here, next, nothing here, next, select this, restart, yes, and install. Okay, once that is done, and if you were tempted to click close and you've closed it, so we could click here, or if you closed it, then we go here and click this, same thing. So I'm just going to click this, and yes, it's going to authorize, get authorization from Active Directory. Hey Active Directory, shall I start? So Dhcp will start working, and it's going to create 2 security groups here for Dhcp. So next, yes, this is the account with which it gets authorization, and commit. That's it. It should be done. If it is done, you're good. Click close and click close. And let's well, this is the DNS manager. I don't need that actually, so I'm just going to close that. But I need to start. So go to Tools and go to Dhcp now, because we need to configure a scope, right? So once we click the Dhcp here and expand that, and then expand this server 1, expand. So IPv4 green is there, it should be green. So right click here and go to new scope. So click next, and then scope 1, or your first name scope 1, your first name scope 1 here, and next. So here it is, 192.168.200.50 and 192.168.200.100. So well, we will not have these many machines, but we're just giving some range here. The rest is okay. Next, we don't need to put exclusion range and delay. Next, and it is going to be least duration 8. Next, yes, I want to configure these options. These are advanced options that we need to configure. So next, so when the DHCP is giving IP through the scope to all the machines, so there will be this gateway they would want to know. So the DHCP will also tell them the gateway address. So 192.168.200.1, and click add. Also next, and DHCP will also tell all the clients, hey clients, our domain is this, our DNS IP is this. Next, and Windows Internet Naming Services was the old name resolution way, purely for Windows environment. Microsoft does not recommend using that anymore. So we're not going to configure that, and click next. And that's it. Yes, I want to activate the scope. Next, and then finito. So once you've finished, so this is the DHCP that is here. So go to server 1 and simply refresh, right? Resuming. So what we need to do is, I think we have configured, if we go for IPv4, we go to scope and address pool. So yeah, this is good, right? And if you go to scope options, this is also good. Router, DNS domain name, so everything is there. So that's done. I'm going to close that DHCP now. And if we are done with this, so now we need to go for the other role that the server 1 was handling, and that is SAN configuration. So we're going to install a software SAN here. We're going to give every disk we're going to add 3 disks, and we're going to give 200 GB to each disk. So I'm going to still stick to server 1 here, and right click here, and guys, you know what, yeah, it's okay. 200 GB. Should have gone for 300 GB actually. Why? Oh, I had to say 200 GB. Seriously. Okay. So anyway, so it's just no big deal. But okay, right click here, server 1, and go for settings, and click add. And hard disk is there, click next. Then Scuzzy is there, next. And then create new virtual disk, next. So it is just 200 GB. That's all you need to select here. Well, okay, single file, but do not select this one. It's gonna make it a thick provisioned or fixed disk, which is going to occupy all space. So do not click this option. So let's click next. Yeah, this is the name which we don't need to change. It's outside name of the virtual disk. So I'm just gonna click finish. So this is the first disk that is added. Let's click the add again, but do it 3 times. Hard disk, next. Scuzzy, next. Create a new virtual disk, next. It's 200 GB and single file, next. And finish. So second disk, and then go for third disk here. Add again, hard disk, next. Scuzzy, next. Create a virtual disk, next. And 200 GB, next. Okay, and finish. And so there are 3 disks here. Make sure there are 3 disks here, right? We're gonna press OK. So 3 disks are there. We need to format them, right? So let's go ahead, go to tools here and go to computer management here, tools, computer management, and then go to disk management here, this one, disk management, expand it, and disk 1, disk 2, disk 3. So there's that disk 1. So right click here, you can see that small red arrow here. So right click here and bring it online. Then again right click here and initialize disk. So it asks for MBR. So keep it MBR, it's okay. It supports up to 2 terabyte disks. So press OK. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna turn on the, or right click in online here and right click in online here. Both this is online. Then when I come back to disk 2, right click and initialize. So it will just detect the other 2 disks as well. MBR or GPD, anyone is okay. Press OK here. And now I need to go one by one to each disk and format them. So I'm just gonna right click here, new simple volume, and next. And yes, the full 200 GB space we need. Next. E drive is okay, is the drive letter given to it. Next. And the new volume name is lon01, and perform a quick format is okay, and next, and finish. So while it is getting created here, I'm just gonna right click on second disk, new simple volume here, next, 200 GB is okay, next, F drive, next, and then there is lon02, next, and finish. And right click here, new simple volume, next, 200 GB is okay, next, G drive, next, and this is lon03. Next and finish. So we have 3 disks EFG here. So what we need, so I don't need this area anymore, so I'm just gonna click close here, right? So now we're just going to install the Scuzzy role. So if we go back here, so let's install 3 disks. We did that. Format them and name them this. Did that. Now let's install Scuzzy and convert them all to Scuzzy one by one. So let's do that too, right? So let's go to file and storage services this time. Stay on server 1. And here, when you go down, you can see Scuzzy here, right? So click Scuzzy. First of all, you need to install the Scuzzy feature. So install Scuzzy target server, start the add roles and features wizard. So once you click that, so it is file and storage services and file and Scuzzy services, and then we go down to Scuzzy target server here and click next. So then in the features area, click next, click restart, press yes, and install. So Scuzzy services will be installed. If it needs a restart, it will restart, otherwise it won't. So once it is done, let's click close. And now again we need to click that link because it's saying to create an Scuzzy virtual disk, start the new Scuzzy virtual disk wizard. So we're ready to convert the 3 disks one by one to Scuzzy disks, right? So let's click that. Once we click that here, so let's click E drive here, 200 GB, and next. So make sure you do not click the C drive, you click this E drive. Next, so we need to name it something. We're gonna keep the naming convention consistent, LAN01. Next, and it is going to be, we're gonna use up the full disk space, 200 GB. We do not want it to be fixed disk. We want to be dynamically expanding because otherwise we will run out of space. So next, and first time we will create a, for the first disk, for the turn of the first disk, we're gonna create a new Scuzzy target and click next. And target name, we can just give your first name target. You can just give it any other name as well. So next, and then we click the add button. So the two machines that we haven't even created yet, but it's in the plan here, Esxi1, Esxi2. So its IPs I'm already putting there. So we must make sure that these are the exact IPs we're going to put when we do install Esxi01 there. So I'm going to go down here and select this first, enter a value for the selected type. Then I'm going to go down here and click IP address. And then 192.168.200.3. So for this hypervisor, which we will be installing soon, for this hypervisor, we're going to have these disks available for this hypervisor, right? So press OK. And IP address, make sure it is IP address. Click again add, because we need to add it for the second hypervisor as well. So click add here, click, and then go back to IP address, and 192.168.200.4. So that's the IP address of the second one. Make sure that you set the IP address here, and then click press OK, and make sure the two IP addresses are showing here and the IP addresses are actually the correct ones. So let's click next. And we don't need to configure this extra security option, but this is Challenge Handshake Authentication Protocol, or CHAP. It is clear text, so it's not very secure as well. So this is just an extra layer of security which we don't need. Next, and create. So it has created the target, and it has also created the first, or converted the first disk to Scuzzy disk. We're going to add the other two disks to the same target. So I'm going to click close here, and yeah. So I'll just go here. So we're still in Scuzzy here, where we see the first disk here. Make sure the IPs are correct. And then we're going to go for tasks here, and we're going to go for new Scuzzy virtual disks here. And we go ahead with F drive now. We just need to convert it to Scuzzy, but we will add it to the same Scuzzy target that we created. So next, and then it will be LAN02, and next. So it's 200 GB, and then dynamically expanding. Next, and we're gonna add it to the same Scuzzy target, and next. That's it. So let's click create and close. Then we go again to the tasks here, and we click new Scuzzy virtual disks, and go for G drive. Click next. LAN03. Next, and then 200 GB, and dynamically expanding. Next, and we're adding it to the same target again, and click next and create, and click close. So now make sure that it is LAN1, LAN2, LAN3 here, and it is not connected written there. Your first name target is there, or whatever name you chose, and then IP address is written there, and the correct IP addresses are mentioning here, right? So that's okay. Don't go literally with, oh, it has to be exactly 200 GB, it can be 190 GB, it can be 300 GB, it can be, so, right? Or you can just take a screenshot and ask me there that if you have any questions, right? So as far as the server 1 is concerned, so we have pretty much done all the tasks here. On server 2 now, we're going to so let's go to server 2, and that would be, so let's configure server 02 now, and that server has a big responsibilities, obviously. So first of all, because it is not done, I'm just going to change its color to black, And second thing is that on server 2, so we're going to repeat some of the things that we have done up there till the snapshot VM. So these steps have to be there in the server 2 as well. First, these steps have to be done. So and then what we need to check here is so these things, and after that is done, then we need to just log in and join this to domain. That's the second thing. And then what we need to do is log in only from hum admin from both server 01 from now on and server 02, right? And then we must install the Vcenter on this Vcenter uh, and 6.5 for Windows, right? So we need to install that too. So we need to give it big RAM. So what we can do now is that we're going to, for this server, first of all, let's shut down server 01, change its RAM to 2 GB and power it on again. Let's shut down server 02 and then change its RAM to 12 GB and power it on, right? And then we go with those options of maintenance. So let's do that now. Let's just change the server 1 to 2 GB RAM because we need a lot of RAM. Yeah, there is CP24 live going on because of Tordu announcements going on. Okay, so here I'm just gonna shut down server 1 now. Power, shut down guest. Now when you log in, you have to log in from Humber admin user account always, right? And then click memory. So here I'm just gonna change it to, see this, 2 GB, this one, 2 GB, 2 GB here, and select anywhere else and make sure it is 2 GB here, and then press OK. And then power on. You must power it on because it is offering infrastructure rules which are very critical for the working of server 2. Okay, so server 2 was already shut down actually. So let's change its memory to 12 GB. And dragging it above 8 until it reaches 12.416, or you can just type 12.416 here directly. Then I'm going to click here on processors just to check that the memory is showing there. It is showing there, which is good. And it is on NAT. I will keep it on NAT because I need, my version is trial version, so I need to activate it for 180 days. If it is expired, then it will shut down every half an hour. So make sure that you do that 180 days thing. So 12 GB, 2 processors, NAT, this is okay temporarily, and press OK. And power on this one. So it's powering on now, but we need to go back to the first server, and we need to make sure that we are logged in from Humber admin, not from domain administrator. So click here, and then do not use this. Click this now, right? and then another user, and then it is HUMB admin, and then password small abc capital C shape 123. Right? So server 2, and it is logged in from your first name HumberAdmin. But if the VM tools option like this pops up, press OK to that. It will log you out, then log yourself in again, and make sure that you always log in from HumberAdmin. Right? So now server 1 is fully logged in. Let's go for server 2 and click next here for keyboard and all the choice, and then accept the license agreement and go for the class password small abc capital C shape 123, small abc capital C shape 123, enter, and then we go for 3 buttons, small abc capital C shape 123, and log in. And if this blue bar pops up, just press yes. Second thing is, again, the VM tools will pop up, and press OK here, and then log yourself again here, and small abc capital C shape 123. So now if we go back here, so we've done the let's shut down server 1 and make it 2 GB, and it is done, and then make it 12 GB and power on, done. Now make sure if it is 12 version that you're seeing 180 days, so this is important. So let's check it out. And by now, because it is on net, it is on internet, and if I go to IE Internet Explorer, and the internet is there, yes, it is there. So so that is done, and so what we need to do is that we need to confirm that right above the clock 180 days is written there or not if it is a trial version. So let's minimize this server manager, and yes, it shows here 180 days. If it doesn't show, refresh, keep on refreshing, or give it 10 seconds or 15 seconds or 20 seconds. After that, refresh. If it still doesn't show and you know that you did not give static IP and the internet is there, so restart the machine and then it will get that 180 days. Now if it is done, so we can just do the same thing. We're going to change it to VMnet, actually in my case 1, in your case it could be VMnet 15. So so I'm going to change it. We don't no longer need internet connection, so we're going to change it to VMnet 1 in my case. So I'm going to right click here, server 2, and go to settings, and then I'm going to change the NAT to custom. I'm going to go to custom, and then here VMnet 1 host only, or this host only, both are okay, and press OK, because these two machines need to communicate with each other, right? So server 1 is on host only, and now server 2 is also on host only. So now if we go back here, so this is done. If it is activated, then change it to VMnet 1 or 15, whichever you want. Suppose you do see all those VM nets, so you can choose any one of those, or you can just follow me. So let's put static IP. Let's do that now. So I'm gonna go to server manager here and go to local server here, and then go to the Ethernet 0, double click Ethernet 0, properties, uncheck V6, double click V4, go to following, and then 192.168.200.2, tap 192.168.200.1, tap 192.168.200.1, right? So DNS is there, gateway is the same, but it's just IPs too. Press OK here, and OK here, and close, and close. And yes, if it shows blue bar here, press yes. If you click no, that also still doesn't matter. So refresh here, and it should show here the IP. So now this is done. Let's rename this VM and restart. So okay, so oh, I was recording all that, seriously. Okay, so let's go ahead and now what we need to do is rename and restart. So I'm just gonna click this computer name here, click change, and go for server 02, and then press OK here, and press OK, and restart. Why did I not join it to domain as well? I could have done that, but I'm not doing that, and don't do that because we need to take a snapshot as well. So rename restart going on here, then take a snapshot. So we're going to take a snapshot now, right? So this is very important, guys. This is actually critical for this machine that you take a snapshot, so don't join into domain. Okay, so before we log in, I'm going to take a snapshot here. Right click, go to snapshot, take snapshot here. This is snapshot 1 of server 2. This is snapshot 1 of server 2. So it is also activated as server 1. It is also static IP given, and it is also activated static IP given, renamed, and well, in my case Vmnet. In your case Vmnet 15 given, but in my case Vmnet 1 given. So take snapshot, and the snapshot will keep on getting created. So it will keep taking that saving state, so we can ignore that and log into this machine with local administrator. And now we're going to join it to domain. So small abc, capital abc, 1 2 3. So server 2, and then if we go back here, so snapshot is done. Now we need to just join it to domain. Login, we logged in, so we're going to join it to domain. So let's go to local server here, and work group, and change domain, and yeah, your first name domain dot local. There we go for your first name admin. Oh, it was HumberAdmin, and small security 1 2 3, and press OK. Welcome to domain, not that domain. If it doesn't work, then troubleshoot if your Vmnet is same, if your IPs are correct, if your firewalls are off, right? Close, restart now. So it's joining the domain now. So I'll just go back here. Done. Login from, and so yeah, so I'm gonna log in from HumberAdmin from user account from both server 1 and server 2, and we must install the Vcenter 6.5 for Windows. Now we will do that. So I'm just gonna go inside, do not log in from this account, click this arrow, and then go to other user, and then go to HUMB and small f capital shape 1 2 3. Always stay logged in from this account from now on throughout the course. So server 2 is now logged in. So now we will install Vcenter 6.5. So Vcenter 6.5 installation, minimum RAM must be 10 GB. Minimum HDD must be 120 GB, and minimum CPU must be 2 processors. So we have all that, so we can just start the installation, right? So I'm just going to check. So I'm gonna check where did I downloaded the 6.5 for Windows. So pausing now. So if you have this option, Vmware tools pop up, just press OK here, and then log in again with HumberAdmin. Make sure it is HumberAdmin. Okay, so here now what we need to do is I'm just going to right click here and go to settings, and I'll go to the disk because I need to attach the Vcenter for Windows to this machine, server 2. Make sure you're doing it to server 2 here, and browse, and I'll go where it is actually. So oops, it's actually here. So it is VMware VIM all 6.5. So press OK. So if it is connected, so let's just click the yellow folder and double click the CD-ROM. This is the logo for Vcenter. So press yes here, and then this window should open, right? So Vcenter for Windows is okay, no prerequisites here, so click install. So it's starting to think about installing. So one day, Monday or Sunday, it's going to start. So it's still wait for the installer to complete initialization, and then we click next here whenever it starts. I need to check actually my space there. Yeah, also right, hopefully. Wait for installer, and yeah, that's it. Next. So next comes here, and I accept the license agreement. Next. We talked about that in detail in the Vcenter class, so refer to that video as well. What is Platform Services Controller or Vcenter Server? Just briefly, Platform Service Controller offers central services, which are here shared services especially. So single sign-on it offers, licensing it offers, certificate management it offers. The rest of the day-to-day task of creating virtual machines, managing storage, networking, and all the advanced features, clusters, so that is done in Vcenter Server. So we're going to go for embedded installation. If you have a very large environment, then you go for one separate server for Platform Service Controller that controls centrally the one vCenter, suppose in Toronto branch, one vCenter, suppose in New York branch. So that's how it does. So I'm just going to click next here while selecting this option. And yes, it grabs that machine name here, which is okay. Next. And then the domain name, we're going to keep it at vsphere.local. And the username is by default this. And the password, we're going to just go for small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1, 2, 3. But now you have to put 1, 2, 3 as well, guys. So let me just put that password. So the password I'm putting here is small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Right? So for Vcenter. And password for Windows and Esxi is small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1, 2, 3, right? So it does not have 1, 2, 3 here, but this one will have one simple 1, 2, 3 as well, an exclamation at and pound sign, and this one as well. So I'm just going for this password here because it's not going to take the shorter form of it, right? So it's small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1, 2, 3, and without shift 1, 2, 3. Default for site name, we can go to Toronto site and click next. So it's asking, hey, you want to install a small SQL server or big SQL server? So we're going for small SQL server. So it's going to use the built-in account. Next. And because we don't have another SQL server on the other machine, so we're going to stick to VMware Postgres. Next. If our firewalls were open, we would have added these all ports and as exceptions for different services of vCenter. We're going to keep it like that because our firewalls are off. Next. And that's it. In a production environment, I would have put it in E drive or F drive. We don't have, it's a training environment, so we're going to stick to C drive. Next. Join the customer experience service program. Uncheck that. Next. And this is it. So that's a summary, and click install. That's going to take long, so I'm going to pause this. Resuming now, so you can see that it is installed, thank God. And I'm just gonna make sure first of all I click this launch Vsphere web client. Do not click this finish button, just click this launch Vsphere web client here. So I'm gonna click that and if this comes, then I can just click this use recommended security settings and press OK. Now this is just saying that it is self-signed certificate, so I don't it's not recommended to go ahead, but we know it's a secure site, so continue to this website is recommended. And then our favorite get Adobe Flash Player error. So guys, it's good to grab that Chrome. So we're going to get internet connection to this machine, install download and install Chrome. I'm gonna copy this URL there and then keep that internet connection and then try to log in and just download this Flash Player once. So but see all these settings here in the video. So I'm just gonna go to right click server 2 to add a second network card, then and that network card will be attached to NAT protocol, NAT, and then we're going to just download. We'll connect to internet after that and download all the settings. So I'm going to right click here, go to settings, and so there's only one VMnet here. I'm just going to click add and go for network adapter here, finish, make sure it is on NAT. By default it is on NAT, which is okay. So first one on VMnet 1, which is the local network, not connected to internet. Second one is NAT, which is connected to internet. Temporarily we're connecting So we could download Google Chrome and also Adobe Flash Player within Google Chrome. So press OK. So well, the card has been added, and you can see that there is no yellow triangle on the network card icon here. So I'm gonna just check if I have internet connection. I'm gonna open a second tab here and try to connect to MSN, and yes, it is connected. And I'm gonna just close this particular tab here, and I'm gonna still open another tab and just type here Google Chrome download, Google Chrome download, and get Google Chrome. There it is, and click that. Download Google Chrome, and then help me make Google Chrome better. Uncheck that. Accept and install. So save it. It's saving, and then run. It's running now. So here it is. Welcome, and make Chrome your own. And so I'm just gonna, while we're still connected, I'll try to go to the Internet Explorer because I need that URL for the for the Vcenter. So I need to copy this and then go to Chrome, and there is that. So I just put that link in Chrome, and then it says your connection is not private, which is okay. So I'm gonna go down to advanced. Let's click advanced, right? And then further go down and proceed to server 2 dot your first name domain dot local. And so it does say still that, hey, get that Adobe Flash, but we are in Chrome now, right? I'm gonna click full screen here. So now in Chrome, just see this. We need to make sure that this is gone and downloaded and gone, and then so we could remove the internet connection. So I'm just going to go to not secure here and right click here, not secure, right click, right? So let's click site settings. Let's click site settings here and go down to JavaScript is already allow flash. It is blocked, so allow flash. Then images is already allow. Pop-ups and redirects, okay, allow them as well. Don't worry, we won't have internet connection. So ads, so background synchronization is allow. Automatic downloads is ask, but allow. Automatic downloads, allow. That's it. So if you clicked all these allow, then click anywhere else, and then go back to the web client tab here where our vCenter is open. So but now you will see that there's a reload button here because of our settings that we did here. Now there's a reload button. So once we click reload, so it downloads that Adobe Flash Player, and then we can go down here and put the administrator at vsphere.local, and the password is small abc capital abc shift123 and without shift 1 2 3, the long one, right? That's the long password. So click login. Okay, so we're logged in now. Congratulations here. While we are logged in, we can still create a basic infrastructure that we created in the class. So that is, right click here on this and go to new data center. And I know that we haven't created the Esxi 1 and 2 yet, but that's the next thing coming. So so right click new data center and then tor DC, that's the first one, and press OK. And then right click here again and on server 2, right click again and go to new data center, NYDC, and then press OK. So TorDC and NYDC are there. Now we need to add the hypervisors, which we didn't install yet, so we're going to exactly do that. But now, what is our RAM distribution here? So if we have full RAM, so we have we had 12 GB, we removed that RAM from server 1, now it has 2 GB here. Then we have server 2, we gave it now 12 GB here, so it could run faster. But now we have to go down to so we can go down to 8 GB here. So 2 plus 8 10 and 4 will be 16, or we can go to 6 GB here. And if we go for 6 GB, that's gonna be painful. So so 2 GB, 6 GB, and 4 GB, right? 6 4 10, 4 14, and 2 16. So now we reach the 16. So now 4 GB, seriously. Anyway, so what we can do here is let's shut down the server 2 and start it. So we're gonna shut down server 2 and keep it shut down. Why? Because we need to install Esxi 1, Esxi 2 and properly configure it and create its A records here. So once the two are started then and configured, then we're gonna start server 2 with different RAM. So right now I'm gonna shut down 6 GB. So if we go back further now, so okay, so now we go for, so this option was installing Vcenter 6.5, so that was it, right? And now we have the next phase, and that is installing and configuring Esxi 01 and Esxi 02 hypervisors. Okay, so let's do that. So what we're gonna do is shut down server 02. Now let's create Esxi 01 and Esxi 02 and start their installations. Let's configure both carefully with name and IP information. and then let's create their A records in our server 01 DNS. Once all this is done, then let's start our vcenter, and let's start our vcenter, okay, let's on server 02, let's change the RAM to 6 GB, and it's gonna be terribly slow, very slow, but I'm just looking at 16 GB RAM there. So change the RAM to 6 GB and power on. So guys, for this we must be very patient. You can see the word very. As all services of Vcenter takes more time to start, and then let's add Esxi01 to Tor DC and Esxi02 to NYDC data centers within Vcenter. Okay, let's do all that now. So this has all been done. Let's go for this now. So we're going to shut down server 2. I'm just going to shut down server 2 now. Shut down guest is good, or if it's from here it's better even. Right click here, shut down, and this one, right? And continue. Okay, so server 2 is shut down now. I'm just gonna go for server 1. We must keep it up, upright. So let's go to home, and let's click create a new virtual machine here. Once we click here, create new virtual machine, then next. So what we there's that next. Now I'm just going to give the path of the Esxi hypervisors. So click browse, and there's that Vmvisor. So Vmvisor installer 6.5, and then next. So there is that Esxi01. We can just properly name it Esxi 6.5 dash, then your first name dash VCP Humber dash and today's date is 16 March, or you can just put your date. Don't be literally following. You can suppose you're doing it tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, so put that date. So that's it. Esxi, oh sorry, it's going to be Esxi01. We're going to refer to it that, and your first name and VCP Humber and the date, right? And I'm just gonna put it on D drive and click next. So I'm gonna also copy this so I could create the second hypervisor with the same name but Esxi2. So next we're gonna give it 200 GB disk, single file, and next customize hardware. So it by default needs 4 GB RAM, 2 processors are there, and we don't need initial internet connection for network adapter, so I'm just gonna stick it to custom and VMnet 1, or host only is also okay. So I'm gonna click anywhere else to check that this is a configuration. So it's custom. If you've gone for VMnet 15, go for that. Otherwise VMnet 1. 4GB 2 processor VMnet 1 or host only is correct. Let's click close and finish and power on. So it is powering on now. Okay guys, so we need to install that now here, where so now it's installing our Vcenter. So well, this is going to load, it's going to take time, so we can just start the other installation of the other one. So let's click home button again. Let's go to create new virtual machine again, next. So the hypervisor is already detected here, you don't have to go to browse and detect that again. Next. And then because you copied the name, just control V here and go for, instead of 1 go to 2, and I'm gonna still put it on D in my case. In your case C is okay, but it is just E6I02. That's all we need to do. Next. It is 200 GB here and single file here. Next. And then customize hardware. The only change here we're making is 4 GB memory is okay, 2 processor is okay. It's just the network that we want it to be on the same network. So VMnet 1, I don't know why all 19 VMnets are not showing for me, but if it does do what it is doing to me, so stick to VMnet 1. Otherwise choose any of the VMnets, but make sure all the VMnets are the same on all the machines. So close and finish. So it's also starting now. So while E6I2 is starting, carefully, without confusing yourself, go to E6I01, and here it's also thinking of starting. E6I1 is still need to finish this, while E6I2, if I go, it's still also thinking of starting here. So I'm gonna go for E6I1. So it's slow now. Wait till Vcenter starts, which is heavy. So E6I1 is now asking that to press enter. So just click on this screen here, and the rest is on the keyboard. So I'm gonna click in. So go inside the virtual environment, and I'm gonna press enter. So then it says in order to continue, accept and continue. So in my laptop it is F and F11, function key and F11. Maybe in your laptop it's just directly F11, which is okay. And it's just going ahead. Now it's saying that how many disks you want, so we can just press enter here. The whole 200 GB disk is okay. What language you want, US default, which is okay. Press enter here as well. Then put the class password, small ABC, small short password, small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123 only. Again, down arrow here, small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123 only, and press enter. And so it is just going on. I'm gonna, if you want to release the mouse, Control Alt is the key. If you want to release the mouse, Control Alt on the keyboard is the key. So it is again asking F11. In my laptop it is function F11, so I'm just going to put that. So again, Control Alt button to release the mouse, and now it's going to just go through the installation, while I'm going to go for E6I2 as well, which is thinking of loading as well. So if I go back and, well, check E6I01, it is still loading. Resuming. So I'm just going to go to E6I2, where it is waiting for me to just push ahead. So I'm on E6I2 now, and click and press enter, then F11 to accept and continue, and then just press enter. So I need to press enter again for the disk here. For US default it is enter, and then put the same password, small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123. That's it. Again, small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123, the short password, and press enter. and then I will just yeah, it's just asking that, hey, you want to install, so I'm function key and F11 again, and it's gonna start installation. So if I go to my server 1, E6i1, it's still on 27%. Maybe it will shoot up to 90% after that. And E6i2 is just installing as well. So when they're both there, so I'm gonna resume that video again. Pausing now. Resuming now. So E6i2 is done. If I go to E6i1, they are done. So E6i1 and E6i2 both are done. So I'm gonna go to E6i1 and just simply press enter to reboot. So I click inside and on the keyboard press enter and then control alt to take my mouse out, and then go to E6i2 and click enter here and then press enter here as well, and then control alt here to take out my mouse. So E6i1 will reboot now and restart, and then E6i2 will reboot and restart now. So I'm going to E6i1 and I'm gonna make sure that we're configuring here everything, and then I'll go for E6i2 and let's make sure that we are doing some configurations here as well. Pausing now until it starts. So resuming now, and what we need to do is that we're just gonna figure this. So I'll configure that and pause. So E6i01. So I'm just gonna click on top of that, because you can see that if you want to enter the screen, you can press F2. So I'm gonna click here, and F and F2 in my case, or F2 in your case if you don't need function key, and then go down to root here, down arrow key, small ABC, capital ABC, keep pressing shift 1, 2, 3, which is exclamation, @ and £. That's it. Not the long password, the short password. Enter. And please be sharp and don't be confused with long and short passwords. You're going to be handling much more complicated environments. So just try to stay sharp and understand what's going on. So any questions, just put it on WhatsApp. So configure, so I'm just going to go down to configure management network, and I'll control alt, I'll press it. Got an IP from Dhcp, but we're going to give static IPs according to this diagram. So we're going to give 200.3 here to E6i1, 200.4 to E6i2. So I'll click here inside and then go on keyboard. So I'm just going to press enter on configure management network. Enter. Now I'm inside this, so I'm going to go down to IPv4. I'm going to press enter again, and I do not want, so down arrow, I don't want it to be getting IP from DHCP, so I'm going to down arrow again and press the space bar on the keyboard, set static IPv4 address and network configuration, then go down further here and press the right arrow key on the keyboard. So the cursor will be on the right side, it's not showing but it is there, and then press backspace button and again backspace button and just put 3 here, right? Or you can just put the whole IP again if you want. So in order to save all this configuration, you have to press enter. It will save it and come out as well. And then down arrow again, IPv6, no need to configure anything here. Down arrow again, DNS configuration. Once on top of that, on top of this one, press enter. And then IP of the DNS is okay, but down arrow key on the keyboard, down arrow key, and then host name, we need to carefully put ESXi01. Make sure the spelling is not wrong, otherwise you will be stuck. You have to troubleshoot why you're not connecting to this by name. So make sure this IP, this name is okay. So press enter to save this information and get out of this window. Enter and out. So then go down again with down arrow key and custom DNS suffix and press enter again, And yes, it DHCP delivered the correct information. This is my domain name, or you should be seeing your first name domain .local. If you've already configured other domain, you're okay. Just make sure that ESXi get that domain, whatever you put there, and press OK here, enter to save it. Now we need to save all this information, so I'm just going to press escape key here once, and it's going to say that, hey, you want to save this all information. So yes, I'm going to press Y on the keyboard to save all this information. So it is saved and configured. I'm going to Control Alt, press the Control Alt key to take the mouse out of the screen, and I'm going to go to ESXi2 now, and I'm going to do the exactly same thing here as well. So click on top of that, F2 key or function and F2, down arrow key to put the short password, small ABC capital ABC shift 1 2 3, and press enter. Once you're inside, so down arrow key once, and that's where you should be, configure management network, and press enter here, and then down arrow key, IPv4, we need to configure that, so press enter. Down arrow, we don't need the DHCP IP, down arrow, select by pressing the spacebar, and then go down further, then right arrow key on the keyboard to put the cursor at the end, backspace once and backspace twice, and then put the IP as 4. That's all you need to do, and press enter to save and get out. Then we go down arrow key, nothing in IPv6, down arrow key, DNS configuration. On top of that, press enter, go inside. IP for DNS is okay, but the local host name is bad, Esxi02. So that's make sure the spelling is correct, otherwise you won't be able to connect to it. So press enter, and then further put down arrow key custom DNS suffix, and press enter to just check yes, the domain name is okay. Then simply press enter here. Now all the configuration to be saved. In order to save all this configuration, press escape only once, and then type the Y button on the keyboard to save all the changes. We're done with the configuration here as well. So Control Alt to release the mouse from here. Now both ESXi1 and ESXi2 are configured, so I'm going to go back to server 1 here to create their A records. So if I go back to this, so shut down server 2, yeah, we did that. Let's create ESXi1, ESXi2 installation, start the installation, done. Let's configure both carefully and with name and IP information, done. Now we need to create A records for them in server 1's DNS server. So I'm going to go to server 1 here, which should be on, and I'm going to go to tools and then DNS. Okay, resuming now. So I'm just gonna go for I'll expand this DNS, and forward lookup zone. In the DNS, expand the server 1, then expand the forward lookup zone, and then go for your first name domain .local. And we need to create A records now, 2 A records for these two guys, ESXi1, ESXi2, right? So right click here, go to new host A record, and then type here ESXi01, that's it, and correct IP 192.168.200.3, and also just select this create a pointer record, so it will create a pointer record in the reverse lookup zone here. So this is good for ESXi01. Make sure the spellings are correct here and the IP is correct here, and then click add host, and it will say successfully created. Press OK, but the screen will still be here, so just put the second one as well, ESXi02, and then we go for 192.168.200.4. Did I put 3 there? Yeah, 3 for ESXi1 and 4 for ESXi2. Make sure again the spellings are correct and IP is correct, and select the pointer record and click add host. We're done now. Press OK and done. Right? Whenever you make changes in the DNS, just click server 1 and refresh. So keep the server 1 open, and now ESXi1 and 2 are also configured properly. So we're going to start the ESXi2. So if I go back to the list here, so let's create a records, done. Once all this is done, then we go ahead and so this is also done. Once all this is done, then this step is also done. I don't know why I put it as a separate step. So on server 2, let's change the RAM to 6 GB and power on, and then be very patient because it's going to take forever. So if you have 16 GB RAM, that's the limitation. I have 32 GB RAM, but I'm working within the limits of 16 GB RAM. So yeah, I'm just going to minimize that. And so server 2, before we go and start that, we should not have 12 GB RAM here, so we need to change it to 6 GB to stay within the 16 GB full RAM in your laptop. So I'm going to click that 12 GB here, and then go down to 6208. Okay, 6208. Wow, that's not fair, but anyway. So, and then while you're doing that, so let's just change that NAT as well. So we don't need the internet connection now. We do not need the internet connection now. So I'm going to click select on NAT, and I'm going to remove this guy. So remove the NAT only. You still need the VMware 15 or VMnet 1, whichever you chose. But you don't need NAT, so we selected to remove the NAT, and we change the RAM to 6 GB. Press OK. Now, while 4 GB are still started, and minimum 4 GB is required to even basically start the hypervisors, and the 2 GB is there, so it's already 2 is 10, and then 6 is 16. So that's the total RAM of your laptop. But normally we when we overcommit, we still kind of survive within this, because sometimes the majority of the time machines do not use full of the 16 GB RAM. Let's click power on here. So server 2 is started, and let's log into that with HumAdmin. Well, let me check Vshift 123. That's a short password we are using here. And after this, give it a good 10 minutes. Keep it started for 10 minutes. 10, like TEN 10 or 10, right? And literally give it 10 minutes, because the application is heavy and its services will take forever to start. So this is 6:13, and when it's 6:23, I'm gonna come back, or I'm gonna unpause this again. I'm pausing it now. I'm giving it enough time to start the services. Otherwise, you will still get that error initializing, which means that it is about to start, right? Or 503, which also means it's about to start. So I'll keep it 6:13, or after 7 minutes I'll check when it says 6:20, right? So I'll pause the video now. Hi guys, resuming, and I'll try to now check for, first of all, that what is the RAM of, how much of the RAM. Okay, I should not be checking that. Yeah, I have more RAM actually. Wow, it's already on 24. Well, I have many other things in the background running as well. Just a few million websites there, right? So well, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to open that site. So I'm just going to go to Google Chrome here, and set as default Chrome. Yes, I want to set it as default Google Chrome. And then server 02, if we start typing that, so it will come up. It is cached already in the browser. So server 02, and okay, so our favorite get-a-dog-flash player is still there, although we tried to remove it. So see this, guys, just go to, if you see that again, so right click here and go to settings, or if you right click here and it shows here that flash is blocked, so just allow it here. And so I just flash was blocked and I allowed it, so I'm just gonna press OK anywhere else, and there's a reload that is appearing here. So try to think out of the box, and don't literally just follow everything. Maybe your situation is a little different, so try to troubleshoot, ask around, Google that message if you're getting something else, or WhatsApp us the picture. So administrator at vsphere.local and 123, and this is long password, so simple 123 as well, right? So it's trying to log in now, and we need to actually access E6I01 E6I02 with by name. We need to add them, the two hypervisors, by name here. So on the left side, I'll just drag them inside as well. So it's okay. So it's we're logged into this. I just gave after starting this machine, I gave it actually 20 minutes instead of 10 minutes. So then all the services in the background were started, so we're good. We're kind of good. So from TorDC, in TorDC we need to add E6I01. So if you've done all the exact steps as I did, so right click here to TorDC and we need to add host, and we're going to add hypervisor 1 here, right? So add host here. Let's click that. The add host wizard starts here, and so what we need to do is Esxi01 dot your first name domain dot local, whatever your domain name is, and let's see if it accepts. So let's click next, and the username password of the hypervisor root small abc capital abc shape 123. This is a short password, and next, and it says that self-signed certificate of that hypervisor is detected, which is okay. Yes, and we're good. Oh god, if you see this, you're good. Next, if you see a virtual machine extra there, it's okay, you created that, I did not. So it's gonna be license for 60 days. Next, and so the lockdown mode is normal, and we talked about in detail in the class videos. You can just check those. Next, and then click next, and then finish. So the first host is being added. I'm just going to go for NYDC to add the second host as well. So let's click the add host. So ESXI02 dot your first name domain dot local. ESXI02 dot your first name domain dot local. Make sure the spellings are correct. Next. And then we go for root and small shift 123 small short password. Next. Yes, for self-signed certificate of hypervisor. Thank god. And this other one is also added. So next, it's on 60 days evaluation. Yes, and click normal and click next here and click next and finish. So we're kind of good. So both hypervisors are added here. That's very good. We need to add also the SAN disks to each hypervisor, and then we need to create data stores. So that would be another thing. So adding SAN ones to each hypervisor and creating data stores on top of them, right? So that's what we need to do. So let's go for first thing. Let's add SAN target to both hypervisors with the help of Vcenter. Also, let's then create LON based data stores on top of the LON based data stores. That's it. Okay, so let's do that, and let's go to Vcenter, and we can go to storage here. This one, storage. Am I running the video? Yeah. We go to storage. We go to TorDC here, and expand that TorDC. So we just see one local storage-based data store, local disk-based data store on ESXi1. But we're gonna right-click here. And well, we're not creating actually data stores, so sorry, I'm here, but we're not supposed to come here. We first need to add LUNs, right? So I'm going to go back to this, the host and clusters here, and I'm going to select that ESXi01, right? And then I'm going to go to configure. So ESXi01 and configure, and then you see here storage adapter. If you see here storage adapter, you should be seeing the plus sign, right? So I'm going to make it a full screen, so so I could see all the windows a bit better. See all the windows. There's one pane here, one pane here, one here, one here, one here. So 7 of them. So better go for full screen here. So let's click plus sign here, and that's for ESXi1. Once you click the plus sign, so there's an Scuzzy adapter. Let's click that Scuzzy adapter, and it will start that service. So press OK, and our best friend recent task is saying that yeah, it is completed. So I'm gonna drag this guy if I could, and also I'm gonna drag this one down. So yeah, I can see the last one, Scuzzy software adapter. Under that I can see VMHBA65. So if you see that, select that VMHBA65, and I'm gonna again put it up, and I'm gonna drop it down. So VMHBA65, you must make sure that this is showing there, and then go down to targets here, right? So first I went here plus, then VMHBA65 here, then targets, and in there you can click add. So remember that it is dynamic discovery. Click add here, and then because our target and LUNs are on server 1, so we're going to put the IP of server 1, 192.168.200.1. So press OK here. If you put the correct IP of that, it says due to recent configuration changes, the rescan button is this. And it's going to rescan everything. Yes, go ahead and rescan everything. So it says completed here. So if I go to storage devices, under storage adapter here, storage devices, so you should be seeing 3 more Microsoft MSFT based devices. Yes, I see MSFT if I go down MSFT. Okay, we're good. I'm going to go to ESXi2 and do the same thing here, ESXi2, and go to storage adapters first. ESXi2 storage adapters, then go plus sign, and then go to a software Scuzzy adapter, press OK, and 0% here, completed, and go down here and VMHBA65 and targets. And then go to add, (192.168.200.1) and press OK. And then rescan here. So completed. and if we go down, it's VMHBA65. It's completed here. So if we go to storage devices for server Esxi2 as well, so yes, I can see MSFT here, MSFT here as well. Now the LUNs are created, so let's go to Esxi1. In fact, let's go to the storage now because we need to create data stores. So I'm gonna go to this storage, and then it's store DC. So I'm gonna right click store DC here and go to storage and go to new data store, just like we did in the class there. So the wizard starts. Next, we're going to create VMFs based data store. Next, and so this is data store. So first of all, we are going to put the source SRV1. Server 1 is having all the LUNs. Second thing is it is LUN which number? So it's LUN 0. Oh, sorry. Which data store number is this? DS0, data store 0. And on which LUN it's going to be created? LUN 0. So if I just go drop down here, Esxi1 is the only one there in DC. I'm going to select that, and all the LUNs attached to this will be showing here. So we're going to select 0 here. So data store 0 is created on LUN 0. So select that and click next. And VMFs6 is there. VMFs6. Next. And then yeah, the default setting is okay. Next. And then finish. Now we can just do the same thing on so expand that. I'm gonna expand that too because this should appear here as well. So I'm just, if it's not appearing, you can just go here and refresh. Yes, it is appearing now. So I'm just gonna go for NYDC and right click here because we can create the data stores from any one of the LANs or any one of the hypervisors or data centers. Then I'm going to go here, storage, and go to new data store. And then again, next. VMFS is okay, next. And then it's SRV1, then DS1, LUN 1. So data store is being created on LUN 1 that is attached to both hypervisor 1 and 2. So we're connected to 2, it's Esxi02. If we attach it here, it will automatically be attached to the other hypervisor as well. So LUN 1, we select that, and next. VMFs6 is okay, next. Default settings here are okay, next, and finish. So that is done, and then we go for Tor DC again. We don't have to go one by one to each other. We can just do all on any one, and it will appear automatically on the other one as well. Again, we're going for the third one because we have 3 LUNs, so 3 data stores, 1 data store in each LUN. VMFS next, and then we go for first of all the source SRV1, then DS2, LUN 2, and then Esxi01, and then select that. Sorry, 1 DS2 LUN 2. So 1 2 and next. VMFS6 next, and then next, and finish. Okay, so the 3 LUNs are created here, 3 and then 3 data stores are created on top of that. So this is where we were supposed to be till now. Yes, we created a virtual machine on top of that. I understand that we know how to create that. Okay, let's do that too. So I'm going to go back to this host and clusters, right? I'm going to right click on Esxi01 and new virtual machine. Let's create a new virtual machine here just to test that if the data store is okay, networking is okay. So create a new virtual machine is there, then we click next. So your first name VM02 we created there although we don't have actually one here in this environment, so 1 is okay. VM01. Next, ToorDC is already selected, and it is only 6i1. It will use the compute. Compute means processor and RAM. Next, and then I'll go for LUN 0 for no particular reason. You can go for any LUNs, and compatibility is green. That's very good. That's what we need. Next, Esxi 6.5. Next, and yeah, we're not installing actually an operating system there, so whatever operating system is there is okay. It's going to be an empty machine. Next. So here on virtual hardware, you just make sure that we're not giving 4 GB RAM, we're giving 1024. And make sure that you expand the new hard disk option here as well. New hard disk option. And go down to, actually go up to, actually go down to disk provision and thin provision. This one, thin provision, right? That's the only two changes. 1024 RAM, thin provision. And that's it. That's all you need to do. Next. Finish. So the recent tasks here says 25%, 100% complete. And there should be one virtual machine showing under this E6A1. There it is. So that virtual machine is there. Right? So we're going to talk about standard virtual switch in our upcoming class. So please finish this. If there are any questions, let me know. Send the screenshots, WhatsApp the screenshots so we can all figure it out. So please do work hard and follow all this video and be there on this configuration state on your laptop before the next class. Okay, so that's it. Any questions, let me know on WhatsApp. Bye bye.